Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast for Paper Planes Part 1. We are kicking off the third week already of the summer season. It's crazy how fast it's been going, because the episodes have all been so good. Real quickly before we get started, some people were asking why there was no week 2 wrap-up. I didn't really think we needed to discuss anything really much further for week 2, and week 2 was just kind of moving some stuff along. We didn't really get introduced to a lot of new things, but I do expect to do more, weekly wrap-ups, probably this week with Alex and Taylor from DG Experience, and definitely want to wrap up the entire summer season. I thought tonight's episode was great. The Anya and Owen storyline was very well done. I loved the Coke storyline, and I also loved that Owen didn't force her to do it, and he was kind of against it. That was, refreshing. Normally you have a girl in a relationship with a bad guy who's forcing her to do stupid things that are ruining her life. He didn't really tell her not to in the beginning, which at the same time is, can be considered bad, obviously. But he wasn't forcing her, if you don't do this, I'm going to break up with you. So that was cool to see that, Owen really does like Anya. I'm sure many of you have gathered, you can't show someone doing drugs. Typically they'll cut away from the character doing it, like they did tonight in Degrassi, but some of the shots where Anya was doing it, they were more creative and more interesting than I had seen before. Like the time in the bathroom when you saw half of Anya's face and all of Bianca's, and Bianca's reaction to what Anya was doing. That was pretty cool than just showing like the back of Anya or something like that, which they did in the beginning, but they were doing the, I forgot the name of the shot, when they go around in the circle like that, and they show, a 360 of an entire shot, and they started it before she was actually doing the Coke, which made it seem more natural than just starting it as she was doing it, so the camera was already going around. So I like the way they went about, the Coke in the episode. As for the cancer, I like that Dr. Chris was briefly mentioned in the cancer, the continuity for Anya and everything in her life. Once again, the writers have been doing a phenomenal job this season with the continuity for the characters and storylines. My little nitpick for the night with the Anya storyline was on her laptop. They had a sticker of, it looked kind of like a pear over the Apple logo. Obviously, because they don't want to promote, other products and stuff. And you could tell it was a sticker, and it looked really cheesy, and, I don't know, it was annoying me every time I saw that. And I understand, obviously, why they did that, but they could have made it more natural, or not even have shown the back of it, because to me it just looked really tacky. That's just me finding something to complain about. Fiona and Charlie, I am a big fan of. From the Fiona and Charlie storyline, I expected Fiona to be kicking Charlie out or them to be breaking up because Charlie had the bed bugs. But to my surprise, Charlie didn't have the bed bugs, and they're still going strong, it looks like. So, that's awesome that they're really carrying this out and stuff. And the preview for tomorrow night, with Fiona, possibly going back into her old habits of getting addicted to champagne and drinking. Very interesting again with that. The continuity, once again, is phenomenal. And I just love that they're keeping Charlie around, and she wasn't just around for, a one-time thing, that they're, something really could happen with her in the future, so that's really good. And the bedbug storyline is very interesting because, I don't know how many of you keep up with the news and everything, but bedbugs were a huge epidemic in New York over the past, few months in 2010 and whatever. So, it was a very interesting storyline. It was something we haven't seen before on Degrassi. They're trying their best to use new things and do new ideas and stuff, and I thought it was pretty cool, And for someone like Fiona to have bedbugs in her world, very funny to see how she acts, because she's obviously not used to that. And, these high quality apartments and lofts and homes and schools, and she's got all this fashion, and, she doesn't know about, what bedbugs are and everything. The Connor storyline. Now, when he first told Wesley about, how he gave up on that and, he moved on to something else, whatever, I was like, oh, really? They're just dropping it like that? But to my surprise, the storyline is not over yet, as he was caught by Allie and he knocked her down, and so I'm guessing Allie did not know who that was, so I guess we're gonna have more with the Connor and the Panty storyline. I felt like it could go somewhere really interesting. I'm not quite sure where, but I just felt like it was a really interesting, storyline, and I was kind of bummed when Connor said he moved on. So luckily, he didn't move on, and we'll see what happens with that. Overall, a really good episode. I'm excited to see what happens in part 2 tomorrow night. Thanks so much, everyone, for listening, and I